Hi guys, welcome to Cosby Customs. Today we're going to be going over how to create stickers. So we're going to sign in. It's going to pull up our projects here. And then we're going to go to create new, your new canvas. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to log out and we'll do this from the home screen for those of us that are new. So now we're going to log into Cricut Design Space. And here's my home screen. You can see all of their ideas, but I want to go to my projects up here in the corner. But see, they have everything on their home screen. They've got stuff for beginners. This is your search bar here. You can pick anything that they've got here. I love the access. I subscribe to it every month. I think it is well worth. There's another drop down for my projects. And as you see, you can keep scrolling down. They have the new projects. They have tutorials. They have what's new and how to do it. It's like a one-stop shop. This is the reason why I like the Cricut things. And you can see there's an abundance of them. There's so many beautiful little projects, and it shows you how to do it, what you need, everything. It'll walk you through it, start to finish. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and let's see. Let me go ahead and sign in to my projects. And it'll bring up all my old projects, but I'm going to go ahead and go over here to the bar, and I'm going to click New. And then it'll bring up an open canvas for us. Now this is a brand new canvas, and from here we're going to pull in our pictures, whatever we're wanting to use for our pictures. We're going to go over here to our bar where you can upload your own, you can pick pictures, whatever you want to do. And I'm going to show you how to do both. But right now we're going to go into their pictures. They have all of these different areas that you can choose from here. They have it broke down by any kind of subcategory that you need. Okay, so from here we're going to put in thank you, and we're going to see what it pulls up. Now be mindful that it'll pull up all of your uploaded ones as well as theirs that are thank you related. Even if you've uploaded like these flowers, I uploaded those and they say it was in a thank you card that I made. So of course they're going to come up because the title was thank you. Now from here you'll just scroll down and find ones that you like. Now you can select as many or as few as you like. All you have to do is click on them. There are other options that we can go over in a later video. So from here, you just are going to see me scrolling through these and trying to find ones to select for our sticker arcade. Okay, so now that we have chose our images that we're going to use for our stickers, as you can see, my internet was giving me a little bit of trouble here, but that's okay. We've already got quite a bit of them showing at the bottom here, so let's go ahead and insert these. So if you go down here to the bottom right hand corner, you're going to see the import or the select option, which is the green button at the bottom. Right here, and it said add, so we're going to add that. Now it's going to take a minute to catch up. We selected quite a bit. It'll import it and put it on your canvas here. So this green slide bar will let you know that it is still currently working. Just give it some time, it'll catch up. Okay, here we are. Boom, they all show up at once. They're all attached. You gotta click out of it and then start moving them around and manipulating them where you want. They're all gonna import their original size, so you're gonna have to pay attention to the size of each item. And here, I'm just sizing them down and I'm gonna arrange them. So I'm gonna pick out a couple colorful ones just so we can use them as examples. So I'm going to put all of the all of these plain color ones that you see me move over here that are solid colors with the lettering cut out. Those ones you can make without importing them in as pictures. You can make those on your own. Most of these you can make on your own anyway. You can make your own pictures all together, but I'm going to try to pick ones with lots of colors and details so that way it's easier to show you the big differences here. But you see, I like to scroll through here and just look at all the images. And clearly, there was so many more that I did not even get through because my computer was acting crazy. Actually, I think it was my internet from the rain and the storm. Okay, here. I have selected these ones, and you see that I have pulled them all up, all right? So now we're going to import pictures. We want to use a picture of a friend's logo. So what I'm going to do is I have it saved to my desktop, and the ones on the bottom there, okay, here, we're going to go to Browse. I'm going to find my computer and pick what image I want to import. So you can import any image you like. So these are just some of the ones that I've, added to my cache for other people or for projects. But you can import whatever you want to. So, okay, so here it is. This is her logo. So I'm going to select that logo, open, and then I'm doing it as a picture, so I want to print and cut, and it's going to be the most complex. So I'm going to select complex, and then I'm going to select my green button down here, and it's going to import it. So here it gives you the options to use their background remover, where it will pull all of the background out. Okay. I just want the outside, or do I want the center? So I'm going to show you. This is with the background remover. Now it's going to take all of the background out. So you can put it on different colors and things like that. But I'm just using this to show you what I mean. Okay, see here, everything turned to this checker. This checker means that it's absolutely nothing there. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to revert back, because I want the white in certain areas. So instead of doing that, I'm going to pick and select what I want. So here I'm going to use my select tool. Okay, now I'm going to just touch or use your mouse, your cursor, and take out the back. Now I want the center to stay white in case I put it on a different background or anything like that. So we're going to go ahead with this image here and use this one. All right, if I select out this center, we're going to see the difference because I have another one already saved. So let's add this one. See, now this is what it would look like if I cut it, if I just did a cut file. This is a print and cut, so you can see the image differences. So we're going to select this one, upload. Sometimes if it takes a while, it's trying to read your files and your slides. Don't worry. Okay, so it's going to show up down here in my uploads. My uploads keep almost all of my other ones. So there's another one right here that I used earlier, and I'm going to use them both. One is going to have the background cut out of the center, and the other one is going to be a solid file. So let's insert these, and then they'll come in. Boom, there they are. Okay, now as I move them around, you're going to be able to see that one you can see through and the other you can't. See? You can see through that. This one, you cannot. See, there's clear. This one has got a solid fill. Okay, so let's downsize these because these are her logos. And then put them at the bottom here. This one is, of course, going to be different than this one. So I'm going to leave them what looks the same, but they're going to come out differently in the end. Okay, so we're going to downsize them. I'm not going to make mine very large. I'm doing this for demonstrational purposes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to build us a background on these. So I'm going to do it in a square. I like to take a piece of paper and use my size for the paper because that's what I'm going to use in my printer. When I print this out, they come in the same size as a regular piece of paper. And I don't want them to do a lot of moving around. So if I put it on the paper, it'll also let me kind of see the differences in the size. So if I take this, it's going to show me it's a print to cut, okay? And if I size it up, it's going to give me a warning over here. Now, if you watch, I'm going to size this up, and it'll only allow me to print a certain size, which it's 6.75 by 9.25. So if you get too big, you're going to get this warning label. Now, you can actually take your cursor, click on it, and it's going to tell you the size. So there it is. You have to reduce to that size. That is the max that you're able to do as a print to cut, unless you go in and cut your picture up, which I'll have in another video. So there's your measurements that you have to stay within. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build me a background, just a square. I'm going to take a square and build a frame this size so we can see it and use it to, size down our items. It just makes it a little bit easier. I'm just going to hit my back button here so I don't have to keep messing with it. Okay, now I'm going to pick a shape. If you go to shapes, you have all these shapes. I'm just going to get me a square, and I'm going to unlock it here. You can keep dragging and pulling it if you like, but I'm just going to unlock it and type in my diameters. Now I'm going to go 5 short on each one. So instead of 6.75, I'm going to do 6.70. And on the height, I'm going to do 9.20 instead of 9.25. And there's my square, okay? That, in retrospect, is going to be the same shape as that paper there. Okay, now I want to push it to the back. There's 2 ways that we can do this. Let me push this over here a little bit, move this around so it's a little bit easier to see as we work. Okay, so now I'm going to pull my square over here. Now I want this square to stay in the background, so when I pull my items over, you can see them on top. Okay, so there's two different ways we can do this. Okay, so if I move this over, let me see here. Okay. If I move this over, it disappears, see? So it's behind there. We want it to be up front. So I'm gonna leave this here while we do this. There's two different ways we can do this. We can click on it, and then we can go up here to arrange, or we can go right here and push send to back. You can move backward or send it back. So we're gonna send it to the back. Okay, so now whenever I select something and pull it across, it's gonna come to the front, okay? Now you can change this square any color you want. I just left it dark for the time being. Now I'm gonna size these down. I am gonna go ahead and pull it. Well, I might be able to leave it on here and do the same thing. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and create an offset while it's on here. Okay, so the offset gives you a little layer around your items. You can do it around almost anything. Okay, so here we are at the offset. Okay, so we're at the offset. We're going to go ahead and size our offset here. This little toggle will allow you to make it bigger or smaller as you see fit, okay? Okay, so now that I have gotten this angled correctly for you to see, we're gonna play with this and then we're gonna hit apply. Now you can see that there is a layer around it. Let me change this color for you so you can see this better. Okay, I'm gonna select a coral. Let's go with this one. Okay, see, now we have that layer around. Now, typically, if I want that layer to stay on there, I'll put a small white one on the second. You can do another layer of offset. Just because of the way that it cuts, you could get a little bit of an edge, but you will see that later on. So we're gonna take this, select the whole thing, all right? The whole layer, everything. Now we're gonna go down here to the bottom, and we're gonna hit flatten. That makes everything into one cut, okay? So if you look, it took the offset, which is usually a separate entry over here, and it combined it into one, so it's one layer. Okay, that means it's only gonna cut one cut, not all these little pieces. So we're gonna do the same thing here. We're going to go select it, then we're gonna go up here to offset, and then you can watch it. It's going to adjust around here. Now, if you make it too small, it's going to have all the center pieces cut out. See, here we are. See all the little edges in the insides? You've got little diamonds and stuff. Just keep sliding it a little bit bigger until they disappear. Okay, see there? Now they're disappeared. Okay, so now we've got us a layer. We're going to go ahead and find one that we're happy with. We don't want it too big, but we want it big enough to hide those pieces. Okay, now we're gonna select. Now, since this one didn't have a layer around it, we're using that one to make our outline. Now I'm gonna do another layer so you can see that I'm gonna do offset twice here. Okay, so there's the first layer. Let's change the background color here. Although the black is cute, I want to do a second layer so you can see how I'm going to put two layers into this one. Okay, so we'll change it back white. Now I'm going to click off. I'm going to click it again. Select the whole thing, actually, and then do my offset again. Because if you just do offset on just the image, it's going to just put it right over the same top. So now we're going to do the offset again. Now, if you use offset a couple times during the same project, it's going to open you at the exact same spot. So when you select offset, it's going to go the same size that you've been using. But that may take 1 or 2 times for it to catch up. So here we are. We got our second layer here. Okay. Once we're happy with the size, we'll just select apply. This storm here, guys, is killing my internet. Good old country Georgia, huh? All right, so now we've got our second layer. We've got a nice black outline on that one, and I think it looks super cute. So while it's selected, yeah, let's look. Okay. All right, while it's selected, we can play with the colors here by changing the background colors. You don't have to keep whatever color you pick. So we're going to pick one of these other colors. You could pick any color, really, whatever color you like. But I'm going to select it all now, downsize it. I like to size my stuff. You can size it after you flatten it, but it doesn't really matter as long as you flatten it. See? Okay, so now it's flattened. The whole thing is a print to cut. Now we're going to size it down a little bit more. Let's scoot it over here. Ugh, pop up. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with a few more of them and get them, well, let's do these first so you can see how these do. All right, so this one should be the one with the clear back, okay? Let's see. No, this one has a white center. Okay, so we're going to put an outline around this one. So we're going to offset it. Now, I don't want it extremely big, but I want it good enough to see, okay? So I'm going to select that size. Sometimes you have to just sit there and play with the slide bar until you get it right. Sometimes it takes a little bit to catch up, depending upon how much detail you have in your cut. Okay, so we're going to stay in that size there. And I'm going to change the offset. Okay, apply. It's been a pain, y'all. This weather is getting on my nerves. Okay. You can size it up big, you can size it down small, whatever you like. Okay, so I don't want it to be black. You could, depending upon what you're using. The colors are your choice. It's endless options. So I'm going to pick a red tone because I know she likes red. But see, if I pull it, there's another layer. See, what it does is it just creates a solid layer behind it. So right now, since I pulled it off of here, I've got to get it back on there. Now, you could just play with it, or what you can do is you could select it. You come over here, and you can pick the alignment, and it'll align it themselves. Okay, so we can center it horizontally, okay? Or we can go down here and just pick center because we selected the whole thing, and we're going to center it, okay? So now that it is completely centered, we're going to go down here and flatten it. And then I'm going to size it down a little bit. Okay. Yeah, let's size this down and move it around. So we have plenty of space for everything else. Now, this one is the one that had the background that I took it out, okay? So I'm going to size it down, and we're going to try something, okay? It doesn't have any layers, okay? It's just the picture, just the image. So I want to see if, being that I didn't select the writing, if it's going to cut out the centerpiece or if it's going to leave it clear and without a cut. Because it's with it not having any other image here, it's not going to give me the opportunity to flatten. So what we could do, though, is we could create a layer and then just make it see-through. But I think I'm just going to leave it blank. So let me see. see the background here, see the whole layer, it would cover the background. And I don't want to do that. I want to try to see if we can leave it clear. All right. This color is pretty, but it kind of drowns out the inside piece. But, you know, you learn through playing with it. So don't be scared of it. You can always go back. They have a back button for a reason. Or you can just import it and start over again. Through our mistakes, we learn our best lessons. So you can teach yourself some of the greatest things by just making simple mistakes. Okay? So we're going to leave this completely open. We're going to move it over here and size it down. All right, so now I'm going to run through a few of these so we're not doing these all back to back, okay? Here we go. All right, so now that we've got them with their outlines, I did create a couple more here for my son because he wanted a couple pictures. So I just imported one, typed his name, curved it, and there we go. All right, so now I've got everything adjusted on here. I'm going to select the background of this because I don't want it to cut. So I'm going to click on the eyeball and it's going to disappear. All right, so I'm just using that as a guide. All right, now we're going to select all of our items to keep them where they're at, and then we're going to go down here and click attach. Because if we don't, whenever it goes to printing it out, they'll be all over the place. They won't stay in that order. So if you have a order that you want to keep them in, or you're trying to keep them all on one page, you know, this will keep us there. So make sure you save here, because sometimes when it's trying to send all of this information over, it may get tripped up. It just depends on how many people are on this program and how many people are, you know, working, and the weather, and, you know, there's so many different things. And with all the work that you're putting into it, just go ahead and save it and be done with this, okay? So you had an option up here to save or save as. We're going to save, and now we're going to, I just put in here sticker examples, and then it's going to save it. So sometimes it'll take a while because we did a lot of different sizing and attaching and flattening, so it has to catch up, all right? So this system, the reason why it's always got updates and it takes forever to sign in on the weekends is because you're all running off of a program, the same program, the same system. So we're going to use the clear sticker paper by Cricut. It's printable sticker paper, clear. And then we're going to use the other one here, and it is printable sticker paper. And this one is pretty thick, but I didn't order any. I wanted to be able to just go into the store and pick them up. So if you guys decided to do this on a whim, it's here. Okay, we're going to use our regular color printer. Okay, so I've already loaded them in the back here. So we're going to go up here to make it, select make, and then it's going to sort into mats by color, which we have already attached it. See, it'll stay all right where it wants to be. Now this black outline here. Okay, well, we don't want to mirror this, so do not mirror it, okay? You can pick different things here, but you don't want to mirror. Mirror is usually for iron-on or HTV. You could select different amounts of items to print. Now we're just going to go to continue. And when my, what am I doing here? Okay. I've had my Cricut on way too long, and I need updates, so it's going to give me some issues here, y'all. Let me fix this. Okay, y'all, we're going to do this one more time, okay? So we're going to walk through Make It. Hi, guys. All right, it's going to sort it up, set it on its sheet here. We just need to look and, again, make sure that it's print to cut and that it's not mirrored. And we can change our project copies if we like, but everything seems good, so we're going to go ahead and look here. We're making sure that that border is what I was talking about earlier. We'll show that when it comes out here. we're going to select continue. And this is where it gave me some trouble out earlier. I had to do my installs. Okay, so now we're going to select our printer. Print setup's going to come up. I'm going to select which printer I want to use. I have quite a bit of them and different programs and stuff. So we're going to select this regular printer. Add bleed is usually for something else. We'll talk about that later. We're going to take the bleed off and we're going to select properties here so we can make sure that our printer is printing for the right type of paper. All right. Sometimes here it'll come up and be behind design space, so you might have to thumble around looking for it if you don't find it right away. So here we are. We're going to select preferences, and here you're going to select whichever way you want it to print. Then your type of paper. All right, so you can size it down, size it up, however you want to do it here. All right, let's go back. The main one here is going to be our paper quality. Okay, this is where you're going to have to make sure it's selected for the right one. We're going to pick glossy for this one because I was running it on the clear. Okay, so actually we're going to go back and I'd pick glossy or matte. And for the white ones that we're going to run now, we're going to pick matte. So while I was printing out my glossy ones, the phone died, so I'm having some issues, all right? So we're going to send that on over to the printer, and Duchess is going to watch it for me, all right? So let's get this up and rolling here. Okay, so this one says that it's not currently in my print settings, but I pressed OK anyway, and it just ran it through. Let me get this Cricut out of the way real quick. I don't have to shut it, but I like to because I don't like to tear it up. It's such a pretty machine. All right, so now we're going to just sit back and wait for it to print out. Now, it's going to take a while because it is going to be a lot of ink, okay? So don't get concerned here. It's trying to make sure that it doesn't have gaps in the photos for you. So don't get too concerned. You'll be okay here. Okay, so we're just going to sit here and let this print. I will size this up here and let you take a look at this. Like I said, it's going to take a little while to print because it's going to go back and forth a million times. All right, so while that's printing, we're going to go ahead and select our light grip mat so we don't tear up our material. All right, let me one-handedly pull this off. Okay, so we've got our light grip mat prepared. We got it set in the side here. Y'all, I've been working on everything. I got stuff everywhere. Okay, so we've got our light grip mat. I'm telling you, I don't think I've more impatiently waited for something to print out. Okay, so here it is. All right. There's our mat. I'm going to try to fan it just a little bit. You don't want to wave it around too much. You don't want the ink to run, but be cautious. Don't touch on the actual images because it's going to be wet, including that black circle or square around the page. Okay, so when you lay it down, you want to lay it down the exact way it printed out. It'll make it easier for the machine to read. Now, try to get it on there. Remember, don't touch the black markings around it. I am going to give it a few more minutes before we stick it through because we don't want to smudge it. All right, so I'm just going to lightly press around. Being cautious where I'm touching. We're going to push it down, the edges down. This is a fairly new mat, so this one should be okay. Okay. So I'm just going to give it some little pushes around the edges here. Make sure I don't get any ink smudged on my hands. Now, the matte will be better, way better than the clear, okay? So I'm going to fan it just a little bit while we get this ready. Okay, so this is our clear one. Okay, I'll show you a little bit more in a minute. So we're going to go ahead and go get our stuff ready. We're going to go in here. So I already have sticker paper on my favorites. All right, but I'm going to show you how to find it, okay? So if you come in here and go to Browse Materials, it's going to have everything in here, all right? You can do 3 different ways. You can go to All Materials, Favorites, or Compatible for the machine you're using. You could search through all of them, but I just go in here to the search box because there's a lot. Put in sticker. And then hit enter. And there you are. There's all the printable sticker papers that they have. You can choose any one that most is close to the materials that you're using. So we used clear earlier. We're going to do the matte now, okay? Apply, and it's going to go ahead and get it ready. Now, if you have a machine you've been cutting on a while and your cuts are getting a little bit duller, you can adjust your pressure as needed, all right? So I change my blades out a lot because I'm always running different materials. So let's go ahead and get this running, okay? All right. It's been on, so it's ready. I just closed it. All right, we're going to go ahead and put our mat in there, and we've already got our flashing button, so we're going to hit our button and let it feed our material. Okay, it just makes sure that you have the correct amount of mat. Now, I did slide my stabilizing wheels over so it won't mess up our pictures and our images here. All right, so it's ready to cut. We're gonna hit select, and then I want you to be able to see how the Cricut itself is going to size itself in so it can get a precise cut. Now, again, like I mentioned before, I would typically put another outline layer around it just because I know mine's off a little bit in the cut. But you can see here, it's looking at that outline, okay? It's got the light on and it is measuring itself. So it knows how far away from the images that it had printed this outline, okay? So that's what it's doing here. It's going to look at all angles and do its measurements so that a way its cut can be as precise as it can get it. Some people have theirs calibrated just right so it'll cut it without having any issues. It's not over adjusted on one side or the other. Now I know mine is off a little bit more. Now it also depends on where you put your mat in at. There's so many contributing factors to these cuts. But you can see here when it gets ready to cut, it's just going to do the outlines because we flattened all of our images into one cut. So it's just cutting the outline. Now when we get to the end, you'll see one of them, one of the logos that I printed for one of my friends that I'm doing this particular tutorial for. You'll see that it does extra cuts, and then we'll look over that in the end when we compare. If you pull this up, it's going to curl, okay? It'll curl your paper. You don't want it to curl your paper. You want to try to keep it as flat as you can, especially if you're going to maintain your stickers on this sheet here. So the best thing, and you got to be cautious because like I said before, you want to make sure that this is dry because there's a lot of ink on top of the sheet. The clear takes forever to dry, and even still, it's a lot of ink sitting on top of this clear shiny sheet, so you'll still get some ink off of it. Like clearly I'm getting ink off of it right now. I'm getting ink from something. There's blue showing up on this paper, but we'll look at them in just a second. So the best way to do this, lay your mat upside down and peel your mat back because your mat's more resilient than your paper. So you peel your back and just roll it. See, and your paper is still laying flat here. And boom. Matte and flat paper. Still flat. Okay? All right, so now we're going to take a close look at them. What I want to do before we take a close look at them is I am going to peel the remaining outline off of this one. So that's all that's remaining on my clear carrier, or on my clear sheet, is my stickers. So I'm just going to pull. Now what I have found out, what helps keep it from pulling all of the sticker off is to bend it back on top of itself, okay? This works with your vinyl as well, or even your iron-on. Get real close to it and pull it back on top of itself, and it'll just completely pull itself away from those cuts and push itself back down if it does come loose on one end or the other, especially when you have a lot of intricate cuts. All right, so there it is. Now you got the little thing off of it. And the reason why I attached them all together before we cut is so that they would stay in the exact places I put them in when they get printed out. So this is the exact way it was placed in there. So if you want to place it nicely in rolls, feel free to do that. You can also even print like 2-inch thick columns and stick them in each box, so that way you got like nice little cut out perfectly square pieces if you're wanting to make them like that. So this one is the clear one. Now we haven't looked over this one, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this one on the carrier sheet just for a second until we look over them. Let me get the light lit up in here because we're prepping for a storm. So let me get a light on so we can take a closer look. Okay. All right, here we are. Okay, so here's the white matte backgrounds here. And these are the exact sticker paper that you get from Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Joann's. You can go in there and pick this up there. So this is that exact paper. It is a more matte, but it does allow the ink to actually sink in. Now, one thing I want to show you is this is the reason why I put this outline around all my print and cut projects, even if it's solid white, because 9 times out of 10, it's not going to cut exactly on there. See how it cut? I usually make it a big white on the outside of it. I didn't do it this time because I really wanted you guys to understand why I do the things I do. See, these ones adjusted pretty good, but when you put it on the paper, and some people's printer, see, you can, if I turn it this way, you can see that this page, on this page, that square is crooked, okay? So it's going to try to place it on there as best it can with reading these lines and doing the math itself to position itself. That's why whenever it was feeding in, I tried to zoom in so you could see that the camera gets really close so it can read these lines. If it can't read these lines, then it won't cut it correctly. And so they all kind of have adjusted a little bit. Looks like this one did a better job adjusting than this one, which surprised me because you can clearly see that the ink is starting to smear over here. Now, I don't know if that's something new from today. I think it is because I think I stuck this paper on top of it because earlier I pressed print and I pulled the paper out because it was going in and it was the wrong kind of paper. And then the thing still ran through a print cycle, so it had no paper in it and was printing all that ink. So it's all over the back of this, so I think I actually smudged that on this one. But you can see my son stole 2 of these out of here this morning because that's his sticker. He sticks it on things that he takes to school, snacks, whatever. And it doesn't hurt me. It was a couple cents to make a couple extra ones of these. And we stick it on everything. Like at the beginning of the school year, whenever we have to label all of this stuff, I just make a whole bunch of these stickers. And I put them in a little box container. And we keep them sitting on the shelf in here. We just pop it open, pull one out, stick it on there. And keep it moving. Even on like his water bottles, because I like to bleach them. When I come back to the house, I bleach them. After I sanitize them in the dishwasher, I like to let them sit in bleach water for a minute, and then I'll run it back through the rinse cycle. But I have done that with vinyl, and they still walk. So I found that the best thing for us is to just get these ones, because I like to bleach his bottles, so it doesn't cost me a lot. These ones will go on easily and come off easily as well. That's why I do the clear ones for those. The matte ones, if they get any kind of smudge or water on them, they're gonna run, okay, because these are not waterproof stickers. They do sell waterproof stickers, or you can do the printable vinyl. But I want to say printable vinyl sounds like it would be a messy mess as well, but we can try that later. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom in on these so you can see what they look like. All in all, I think it did a really cute job. I like these. I am gonna order some shiny, glossy sticker paper. I'm just not huge on stickers. I do, most of mine are like shipping labels or stuff like that. I do keep them here, but not enough to order a big roll of stuff from Amazon, because typically I try to reserve my Amazon purchases for bigger purchases, or I'll toss little things in if I've got a big purchase coming. So these are a friend of mine. Now I want to show you something here, okay? This is the reason why I didn't pull the carrier sheet off the other one. So this one, I did not put a background on. I did not put a, what do they call, offset around this one, okay? And I wanted you to be able to see the difference, okay? See, it cut it right on that line. So if it was off by any diameter, forgive my messy nails, I need to fix them. I know, y'all. As you can tell, it's been a rough week on me. I'll get to it though, y'all. I'll fix them. So as I was saying, you can see that the measurements was off, and these are so small that it's gonna matter, okay? It will show off by a milliliter of an inch, but on this one, I didn't fill the back in. So it actually cut the entire shape of the inside of it, where I had left the back out. Now, if you wanted it to be clear and not cut the inside out, you could actually put the offset on it and just make the offset clear. And then it would keep it from printing or cutting on the inside. It would just cut the outside, which I think looks crazy cool here on this one. So this has an actual like a hue to it, but that's just the backing sheet. Okay, when you pull one of these off of here, it's just as clear and crystal clear as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this one off. And I did this example for a friend of mine. She owns this business. I highly suggest you guys look it up online. I will have her attach something, but this is so cool. You could imagine putting this on something clear, like a bottle of her own natural like creams or lotions or any kind of like oil. I know she makes a whole bunch of oils too. And being able to see that beautiful oil and stuff from the background, wouldn't that be cool? Look at that. You can even, you know, take it and put like everything else around it, you know, like whatever you want it to be, if it says whatever it is around it, and just blow this up on one side. I think that would look super cool and very, very classy. But that's just my personal opinion. You know, that's the beauty about making your own stickers, is you can try different things. You don't have to settle on one. You can try all different ways, find the one that works best for you, and then go with it. So I just wanted to capitalize on these for her for just a moment. She's the one that needed this tutorial now, because she's going to get ready to make some stickers. So just for her, that's why we did these small ones of her label. But that is her actual logo there, y'all. So Supreme Naturals, go ahead and look into it. Okay, so there's our stickers. We did one in the clear. We did one in the regular matte. Now this one is much, much thicker than this one, okay? This one I think is more like a regular sticker that you would get. Just a little bit thicker than like one you get from a doctor's office. But I love the way that these look with the clear backings, or with the background clear on them. I think it looks super cool. Like if you put it on something, it's going to look really neat. I'm going to try to find something with a solid color. Here we go. Here's one of my little notebooks I keep close by. Which one we're going to put on here? Let's put the raccoon. Sorry, I know I got that right on my camera here. But I'm trying to do this without my stand, because I pulled the little backing off of my phone the other day, and I just haven't put it back on. Y'all know how that goes. Just got 9,000 things going. Okay, so here's the little fox. And I think it is so stinking cute. I love foxes. Or I mean raccoons. Okay. Let's stick that sucker on there. Look at that. Isn't that cute? See-through. Look how cute he is. You are enough, y'all. Every one of you. You're enough, you're enough, you're enough. And then Xavier, of course, he loves his little... He's a gamer, y'all. Well, he's a gamer, he's a basketball player. You know how it is. We try to do it all, right? These are his, and he loves these. He sticks them to everything, and they look so cool. They're so... You see the clear? It is absolutely crystal clear. I love this backing paper here for stuff. Like if I'm doing one and it's like label on one of my bottles or anything like that, I can just do it like this versus having to cut each individual piece out. You can make like a little circle and then type in the words and the letters, instead of having to pull each individual word out like these. See, that's the whole piece. So I would have to put a transfer sheet on top of it, varnish it down, and then pull it off, and then put it on here, varnish it down, pull it off again. That's a lot of work, especially because each one of these little boxes inside of here are labeled. So you know that I sat there doing that for a few minutes, right? Where I could have easily just done this and put, you know, Joy cards and made it into like a heart or something. Pulled it off, stuck it on there, and been good to go. Smarter, not harder, y'all. Okay. All right, so there's our sticker tutorial. If you have any questions or any comments, if you have any information for me that can make my life easier, please do so. I love getting feedback from you guys. I am not the know-all, be-all, do-all. I just try to learn and pass on the information for those of us that have 9,000 other things going on that can't do that. And I enjoy getting that information back from you guys as well. Boy, that just does not want to catch that. There it is. The glare, y'all. The glare is real here. Okay, there it is. There you go. Okay, so stickers it is, y'all. Stickers it is. Let me pull this backing sheet off of this one before I stop this video so I can see what it looks like. It just has like a clear or a like a stained glass look to it here. Plus this line of ink, because on these you can actually see the ink sitting on top of it. See it? You can see that ink where that glare is right there. You can see that ink just sitting on top of that sheet. It makes me a little leery. I know my son pulled one off this morning and was like, I'm going to put this on my bottle right now. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, he's going to put this on his drink bottle and then he's going to touch it and then it is going to smear everywhere. He's going to have ink all over him, all over his things. I was very leery about it. But I did print this one out last night and let it sit because I knew he wanted one of them because we changed his water bottle last night. Uh-oh. Come back here, you. I'm losing this one. I'm going to stick this one over here. Because this is hers anyway, so those were just for her example purpose. So here we go. We're going to pull this back away. See it? It's trying to lift up there. And what it'll do is when you pull it back on top of itself, it'll stop itself from lifting up. It'll actually push itself back down. I'm sorry. I'm probably making y'all lazy and sick. Drop the clean camera. Okay, there we go. There it goes. Okay. Uh-oh. That one wanted to pick up because I lifted it up too high. See it right there? It's wanting to pick up. So, see? If I push it down on top of itself, it'll pop it right back down on the ground. Okay. Carrier sheet. Top sticker sheet is off. So now you could just cut it with a paper cutter, you know, your little paper roller, whatever. I'm just going to cut them with scissors and stick them in my box. I do have a paper cutter. I could cut it with that, but it doesn't matter to me because these are just ones for my son to use at home. So he'll have a couple clear ones, and then he'll have a couple of these with the matte white. I forgot to show you. But see, this one is more of a card. It almost feels like a, what is that? A note card, you know, like a study card. I can't even think of what they're, we'd use them as flashcards whenever I was in school studying. So they're really thick. So I don't imagine it would sit well on a round surface. It would keep trying to peel up. Could possibly be wrong, but it does sit well on a flat surface. It's just very thick, see? But yeah, so there they are. You got your clear and you got your white. Stickers, y'all. Stickers, y'all. Stickers for everybody. There you go. Sweet on you. Y'all are foxy. Love you. You are enough. You rock. You are awesome. Thank you for being so sweet.